It's time. I've been talking about this shit for a month. And here we are with David Howard Thornton, better known as Art the Clown and now known as the Mean One. So before we get into this amazing interview, thank you so much, David, for coming on the Underground with me. We're going to take a quick commercial break to Desaia's Creep Shop. Check it out. Hell yeah. If you are a horror enthusiast, a purveyor of all things creepy, this is the Yuletide season. So for that special freak in your life, please make sure you get over there and check out DesaiasCreepShop.com. She's got something for everybody. All right. So David, welcome to the show and welcome to everybody out in the comment section. Thank you all for showing up and showing out. So first, he amazed us in The Terrifier and swept the big screen with Terrifier 2, and then coming December 8th to Regal Cinemas before the 9th when it gets released all the way around. You will now know him as the Mean One. David, how are you tonight, brother?
I am good. I can't complain. Been a little busy.
That's funny. Brett says David should have dressed as Art. No, man.
I couldn't talk.
Tired of doing it by now.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot. But I'll tell you what, though, the concept of Art the Clown is, I've been thinking about this all day. All the famous clowns, we got, anything from Killer Clowns to Outer Space, a lot of the indie clown films, and then, of course, Sid Haig as Captain Spaulding. And to me, Art the Clown is just creepier than any other clown out there. I think it's the simplicity and the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Now, is that a prosthetic?
Oh, yeah. Those are not my real teeth.
I kind of figured it wasn't your real teeth, but
yeah.
I was just wondering if it was like something they just put in your mouth, or is it part of the mask?
No, it's prosthetic teeth I put in, just like they're molded over my actual teeth. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like wearing a retainer.
A retainer from hell.
Oh yeah. It's always fun trying to talk with those things because I sound like some redneck or something. Hey, how's everybody doing? What are we filming next?
So that's what Art would sound like if he actually spoke in the movie.
Oh, probably. He would just sound like Brack from Space Ghost or something like that. I love killing people. It's fun. Everybody's gonna die. Yay!
That was that was Kyler who said, "Okay." I said I had to say this again. David, you brought my fear of clowns back, so there I praise you.
I do what I can.
And it's me and my producer Genghis, we do a show called The Witch and Kitchen Hour where we discuss a horror movie each week. And we did The Terrifier and The Terrifier 2 last week. And I got to say, when I saw it come to Netflix, that's how I caught on to the now iconic character that you play.
Yeah.
And I was like, this has got to be a hidden gem, because I didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
And all I saw was like the picture of your face. I'm like, I've got to watch this shit. Man, didn't know I was getting into all that from the moment you walked into that fucking diner with those two chicks and you just like, that fucking smile you do. I was like, that is some eerie ass shit, man.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, is that kind of the hardest part of that character to do, is to do the miming thing?
No, it's pretty easy for me. I guess it's
Okay.
because I have a long history of doing physical comedy and stuff like that, so that stuff comes very easy to me. And I think what makes it easier for myself too is like even though I don't have spoken dialogue, I'm always doing some kind of dialogue in my head, so I'm able to hit the right beats and stuff like that as well. So it's like and it helps me just automatically go into like certain facial expressions and stuff like that when I'm thinking the thoughts in my head. So
Nice. So
yeah.
when you do that awesome fucking mime laugh you do, like when you were looking at the funny papers,
Hmm.
uh, what are you thinking at that moment?
I'm dude's doing ha 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 with my head. Yeah. Yeah,
I
I'm
couldn't do
laughing
that on my
away.
best fucking day, I don't
Yeah,
think so.
yeah.
I praise you for that alone,
Oh,
man.
thank you.
And we think about all of those silent fucking killers. Anything from Jason to Michael Myers. None of them had to say anything except
No,
grunt or breathe, and like you don't do either one.
no.
So I think that just makes it creepier.
Oh, I do too. I think that yeah, you don't even hear the guy breathe. I mean, the only time you really hear a sound come out of him is in part two when I spit, and that's only
Right.
there because it would be hard to tell that I had actually spit. Because it's like it's you just see a little glob go out, but he's just like, yeah, we had to add that little sound effect in there. The because
Yeah, just a taste. Just a
yeah,
taste.
yeah, but it's like that's the only time you actually hear some kind of sound come from him, other than like a hand clap or something like that. So, but it's not an auditory, from his mouth type of sound. So that's the only time you hear a little.
The spit heard around the world.
Yeah, yeah.
So when this part for Terrifier, because obviously we're going to get into more Terrifier 2 in a minute.
Mhm.
So disclaimer out there. Sorry, we're going to discuss parts of the film. So if you haven't seen it, I don't know why the fuck you haven't seen it yet. God damn it.
I know.
We're going to talk about it a little bit. So if you don't want to know, close your ears. All right. So how did this part land in your lap?
They posted a thing on Actors Access looking for a tall, skinny guy with physical comedy or clowning experience to play art, and I was like, oh my god, that's perfect for me.
So at that point, what did you think you were going to be doing?
I had no idea. I mean, I kind of had a little bit of an idea because I had seen All Halsey, so I knew the character, but for the audition, I didn't know. And so I'm glad I was familiar with the character because that gave me something to play off of in the audition. But I walk in there and all these people have got scripts in their hands, and I'm the only one that doesn't have a script. And I started because this was my first time really auditioning for a major film role. And
For
I'm like,
sure.
oh God, no, this can't be. I was like, I was like, oh my God, my agents, set me up for failure here. They didn't give me a copy of the script, and they called me in the room, and I'm, apologizing profusely. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I never got a copy of the script. Can
Oh,
someone
shit.
please let me have a copy? And I'm like, they're like, oh no, you don't need one. Art never talks. I'm like, oh, cool. So it's like, okay, we'll figure this out. So, so they're like, yeah, just come up with a scene where you're very happy about killing somebody, and like you just decapitate, and we want you just decapitate someone. Be happy about doing it. I'm like, okay, let's do this. Okay, and they're like, can I have like a few minutes just to think about it? They're like, no, just do it now. I'm like, okay, and this is where I'm glad that I have experience doing, improv work
Sure.
because these are those moments where you just don't know when something's going to happen like this. And you've just got to go with your gut instinct right there on the spot and go with the flow. And that's what I did. I just took a second to compose myself, and I did this whole thing that you can actually see online. But
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what
it's
the producer just said. I guess your audition video is up there.
yeah, it's up there. I like kind of like sneak up behind my victim, knock him out, saw off his head, pick up the head, taste it, don't like the taste of it, so I take out a salt shaker and season it. And
Oh, that's
I was like,
awesome.
oh, this is good. And I kind of bathe in the blood for a second, then give it a thumbs up and kind of skip out on my merry way. And that's what got me the part. Like I'm totally oblivious to what the table's doing. I just go in the zone in those type of moments, and then when I snapped out of it, I'm like, I think like, Damien just had his head down on the table laughing, and and Phil's over there just going, What? Wow, what?" Phil's our producer, and it's just, and Damien's like, "So, you think you can come in for a makeup test?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I'm used to crazy makeup jobs and stuff like that for a lot of stage roles I used to do." And so I kind of walked out of there basically knowing I had the part, because someone doesn't ask you for a makeup test, they're not going to put that time
No.
and effort into something unless they're really serious about it. So that's very rare to have that kind of moment in an audition, especially for a film role, especially for the lead in a film role, because usually you have to go back for multiple auditions just to see,
Right.
so everybody can get a feel of you and see how you measure up to the other people they want to cast and stuff like that. And I just had one audition and they basically knew right there. So I was like, that's awesome. That's never happens.
Now, I mean, up to this point, though, you hadn't really done a whole lot of horror. I mean, you did the Joker, right?
Hmm.
In
Yes.
that series called Nightwing, which was bad fucking ass, by the
Ah,
way.
thank you. We had a great
Pretty
writer
killer
for
shit.
that, for my Joker stuff. Is like, he understood how Joker is supposed to speak, and everything about that character, like the big scene that I filmed for it, is like, that is such a Joker like situation. I was like, man, this person gets how Joker is supposed to be, and I'm like, man, if only Hollywood could get those kind of writers in there for the
For
live
real.
action. Yeah, I mean, they got it for all the animated versions. It's just the live action. I don't know what's wrong. They don't know how to write the character right.
Seems like it, but I'll tell you what, you've nailed it as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you.
He's not supposed to be this lovable,
No,
likable character, really,
they also make him creepy all the time. They're always trying to make. I've seen this
or
ever
too
since.
creepy, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like since, like, Heath Ledger's version, everybody's trying to do some kind of Heath Ledger type thing, and
That
it's
was a
like,
completely different comic series. That was
yeah,
always my argument.
yeah. It's just like, what's no, Joker's very theatrical. He's a showman.
Yeah.
He's a master wordsmith. He's always playing with the English language. There's always some kind of double meaning to what he's saying. Yeah, he's very smart and intellectual. He's not trying to I'm the joke. He's just like, that, all that bullshit. No, he doesn't view it that's to him. He's so arrogant that would, being like that would be, substandard. He sees himself as an elevated type of villain.
Right.
Yeah. Like, the only time he did anything really creepy was when he had the doll maker cut off his face and reattach it and stuff like that. But even then, he wasn't trying to be creepy or anything like that. It was just like something he just did to his face. But everything else, he
Yeah,
was still himself.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I guess, did you take anything from playing that character to kind of put towards art a little bit?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. The fun thing was, I was cast as Joker and Art in the same week too. So I
Oh,
was like, oh, this is
shit.
perfect. I'm cast as two killer clowns in the same week. So it's like, I definitely put a lot of Joker into Art, just his
It kind of
playfulness.
shows a little.
Yeah, it is the theatricality behind him and his playfulness, where he's like, he knows he's a bad guy, he revels in it. This, like, he has fun with what he does. Everything is a
Oh,
joke to him.
yeah. Art is definitely enjoying his job.
Hmm.
We can definitely see that in every epic fucking kill in that
Oh
first
yeah.
movie. What was your first thought when they came to you and said, "All right, David, you are now going to saw a girl in half"? Because I can tell you, and I'm sure all of you out there in Three Witches Land in the comment section was like, "Is he really? He's doing it."
Hmm.
Oh shit!
Hmm.
Is that
Hmm.
kind of how you felt when they said you were gonna do that?
Yeah, I found out about it when I read the script, and
Right.
Damien, wrote all of that in the script, and I was like, okay, he's just doing this, for everybody who's reading this to know what's supposed to be happening here. But I'm so used to most movies where they cut away, or they do it in, shadow, or something like that.
Yeah, it's
You,
implied.
it's implied, and he's like, oh no, we're going to show it all, and I'm like, hell yes, because that's going to get people talking. I'm like, that's going to sell this movie. That's people are going to go nuts over that, because they're not going to expect that to happen. And I was like, yeah,
Sure fucking didn't see
yeah,
that one coming a
yeah. I
mile
was
away.
like, this
Nope.
is going to be cool. This is going to be the scene in the film that everybody is going to talk about. We knew it from then. We're just like, yeah, this is what's going to sell the movie.
Yeah, I honestly, that scene alone, still to this day is heralded as one of the best kills of the film. Um, almost just as much as how much could that final girl get through to the end of the film?
Yeah.
Because I mean, let's face it, there wasn't much left of her by the end of the movie.
Oh no, no. Poor Victoria. It's just like,
Oh,
oh, poor Victoria. No wonder her mind snapped. That's the one thing people are. That the one criticism we get for the first movie. There's very like basically no plot. I'm like, no, they're wrong. There is a plot, and it's basically the whole entire plot of the Killing Joke, or the conceit of the Killing Joke about how a perfectly sane person can have one horrible day, and it drives them to lunacy, and that's what happens to Victoria.
oh, absolutely, and that follows right into Terrifier 2.
Yep.
Um, you know, the end of the film, which was one of the things that I really praised the film for, was didn't think that there was going to be like any kind of supernatural kind of thing that, reanimates Art back to life. Maybe,
Hmm.
he just wasn't killed. And somehow, just because of his lunacy, he was able to make it out. And then y'all hit the lightning there. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. This is cool.
Yeah.
So Art is basically now evil in its like purest fucking form.
Yeah. Yeah.
And which opens up Terrifier Part 2,
Hmm.
where he's handling the the morgue guy, whatever you want to call him,
Yeah.
the coroner. Sorry,
Yeah. The corner.
and how fucking amazing! The very beginning of the film, you literally ripped the guy's head open, brain, the
Yep.
whole 9 yards. I practically did everything to stand up and applaud.
Yeah.
That was some serious shit. What was that like?
It was crazy because originally it wasn't written like that. It was a lot more
Ah,
tame. It was like, but COVID happened,
ah,
and because we had filmed the first part of it right when I'm going up to I get the first whack on the head, but then Damien had to build all the prosthetics for what I was going to do to this actual fake head and stuff like that, and COVID happened. It gave us all this extra time. So that kill and the alley scene both got
mhm.
fleshed out a lot more because Dame's like, now I have time to build prosthetics the way I want to build them. So he's like, I'm going to go back and revamp these two kill scenes because now I got time. I can build what I want to build and not have to worry about time constraints on that. So I'm going to go. Let's open this film up with a huge kill, like bang, just like let's go all out at the beginning. And then
A lot of
for
films
Allie's
don't do
kill,
that.
no, it's like, but we want people to know soon in those first 10 minutes of the film to know what this movie's going to be about if they're not already familiar with the franchise. It's like if you can make it through that scene, then like, okay, you know what you're in store for the rest of this film. And then we go to Allie's scene. We're like, oh fuck, my god, no.
Now, who
But
did the prosthetic work on
that's all
all
Damien.
the creations?
Damien, and our
Oh,
producer
okay.
Phil helped him build some of that too. But I mean, that's
Fucking
how he
stellar.
kept himself sane during the pandemic because he was just building like crazy and editing what we had already filmed.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he went
Um,
crazy. It's like, especially with the alley scene, like a lot of that stuff was not supposed to be in the kill at all. That was originally supposed to just take 2 days to film. And it took about a week to film because he added so much more to it. It's like, my God. It's like that whole entire animatronic thing he built was not really, I don't believe that was part of the kill originally. It was we're just gonna have her just laying on the bed herself, but he built this thing and it's just like, oh my God, that thing was I mean, it's very simple when you know how he built it. It was just basically a puppet on rods and stuff like that. That he had
yeah.
the rods built in the back of the bed and under it and stuff like that. They just had people manipulating it. But it was like, but still, it just looks so gruesome. And I know
Stunning.
he got the inspiration for that kill from the first place from the crime scene photo of God, what Mary, Mary, I cannot think of Mary Kelly, one of Jack the
Oh,
Ripper's victims.
gotcha.
And yeah,
Oh yeah, talk
down
about
down to
gruesome.
the one leg that is bent on it's like you can look at those the final pose of Allie and Mary Kelly, and they're almost identical with just how they're eviscerated and just destroyed. And that's he wanted to deconstruct that original Jack the Ripper kill.
Yeah. And that's funny. And I'm sure a lot of our viewers watching were
Mhm.
probably curious about that too, because first of all, the whole kill scene there is just fucking stellar. There
Yeah.
had to be some kind of influence there. So
Yeah.
I bet you if I go and look that up, I'll definitely see the resemblance there
Oh
because
yeah.
it seemed a little too like planned out, and Art's not really someone who plans it his kills
Mhm.
out, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, and oh man, just human shish kebab.
Oh,
But
just
before,
everything. He does everything to her in that. It's like, I mean, he added like two things that always make me go, ha, when I see him in movies because it takes a lot to make me go, ha. I'm like, blood and guts doesn't bother me. It's anything with an eye and anything with a
ah,
bone breaking because those are two things I've experienced myself. So
oh man,
I know what that pain's like. I know I can empathize with that. And he put both of
yeah.
those into that kill. I was just, even on set, I was like, ah, just ah. It was just when I had a snap arm, everybody was just kind of
Well, I'll
yeah,
tell you, as somebody viewing it, I mean, it takes a lot for me to be like wince a little bit, like you know
yeah.
what I mean. I'm like, I went, oh shit, he just snapped her fucking arm
Oh
off.
god, and the wishboning of the arm too. From oh my god, that thing wasn't supposed to split as far as it did too. I'm like, oh shit,
Oh,
it just. Whoosh. I was like, oh man, I'm like Moses but different.
oh, just I'll tell you, it was something else. And the fact that the poor girl's mom walks in, or it's just
Oh
kind of
yeah,
like,
caught me.
you got me. And of course, we're all wondering what the hell happens to her because there ain't no way
Oh,
that bitch got away.
oh no, oh you see the aftermath of it, so it's just like with the
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. Yeah, the trick or treat bowl, but you don't see what actually happened to her in between that time period. We that one we just leave to everybody's imagination.
Yep, not enough hours in the day.
No, no, that just made the movie like a 3 hour movie.
So we have a couple of questions here going.
Mhm.
Sorry if I missed a few. Kyler asks, how did he get his eye back?
Oh, it just regenerated.
Which is kind of what I thought too.
Yeah, we kind
Same
of
thing kind of
implied that
happened
with
with
him putting the
Jason Voorhees.
eyeball in. Yeah, it was just like he, I mean, he could have even just kept the coroner's eye and just put that back in later when he was done with the
Eh,
kill, and then it just formed into his head. Same thing with the back of his head; it regenerated too. It's like he's just got regenerative powers.
Here's another question. If you did Art versus Pennywise, would you rather face OG Pennywise or the new one?
Oh God, I think the OG Pennywise would be much easier to beat. He's yeah,
Probably.
but either one it would be easy because Art doesn't really have any fears, and so it's
No,
he would
literally
just
nothing
point
scares
and
him.
laugh at Pennywise, and Pennywise would and just melt away.
I see we got another
My
one here
God, my
too.
skin did that whole like I
Right.
look. It's like that Ernest character he did with the old lady. Like,
Oh yeah.
I just have so much
Those were
skin. I
classic.
have such loose skin. I could just do that with like.
Which I'm sure probably serves you well in your next film coming
Oh
up.
yeah.
It says, I know David gets asked this a lot, but how do you train yourself from going from a loving, caring human to film ready, sadistic, creepy killer clown? What's your thought process in prepping? Excellent question.
I don't really have too much of a thought process or assess or anything like that because I'm like it just goes back to my stage days where like as soon as I understand the character, I know how to slip back into them, and so I can turn it on and off
Amazing.
because I would do shows where I would play multiple characters in the show, so I had to be able to just rapidly switch
Go
between
from one to the next.
characters. Yeah, so I can just, as soon as I know where they are, they're just living up there, and I can just bring them out when I need to, and especially when I'm in the costume and makeup, it just makes it so easy. So I know it's all fake. It's just acting. So I don't have to do any of that pretentious actor bullshit of I'm gonna stay in character all day and make everybody fucking miserable around me because I'm an actor. You know, I think it was what, Pacino or not Pacino, but
Or Hugh Jackman.
or Hoffman. It was Hoffman that just says like, why don't you just act?
Right.
It's just like to like I think it's like one of these method actors. He's like, why don't you just act? That's just what I do. I don't have to do the Jared Leto thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I always thought that was kind of weird.
I just, it's just I feel like you haven't done your homework. I feel like if you've done your homework, then you can bring that character out. I mean, I understand taking like a minute or so just to get in the frame of mind and then going forward, but
yeah, like a switch.
Yeah, you can just switch it on and off. It's like, hey, luckily I've never really had it work with actors like that. Most actors can just turn it on and turn it off. That's the good thing.
Yeah, and I think the best acting really does kind of come out of, the indie circuit.
Yeah.
There's no big egos or anything.
No.
Well, hopefully there isn't, but you may run into that one or two people that go, oh, well, I did this one and that one, so fuck off.
Yeah, and then those people never work again too. So that's
exactly.
It's no one wants to work with an asshole. That's just how it is. It's just like I've worked with those people before, and I know how I've been on the other side of the table too at auditions, and I know people talk and like, oh, this person's a hard person, especially when it comes between one person and another person. Sometimes people are like, yeah, well, this person's really difficult, so let's go with that person. Okay, there you go. So don't be an asshole on set. It's just like,
just fucking do your thing.
Yeah, just do your thing, do your job, do what you're employed to do, and that goes not just for the actors, just anybody in general on sets. Because we've had a few on some of the stuff I've worked on in the past. We've had some crew members that we just did not welcome back because they would not work. They would just go off and wander off somewhere when they weren't supposed to be doing that, and wouldn't let anybody know. So when we're ready to roll, we're like, okay, hey, where's this person for this job that we need them for? And then you have to wait for them to show back up. And I think that's extremely unprofessional. And so it's like, yeah, don't be an asshole and don't be unprofessional. So, and luckily, like with Terrifier, both films, Damien has done such a great job finding a great cast and crew to work with. So we don't have those problems. It's just everybody's having fun. And it translates to screen too. You can tell in movies when a cast is having fun with what they're doing and having fun with each other. There's something very organic about how everybody interacts with each other on screen.
Yeah, just a wealth of talent out of both films. Probably nobody really heard of some of the the final girls, especially the one in Terrifier 2. Now her world's fucking went from everyone's like, I want you.
Yeah, and it's well deserved because Lauren is so amazingly talented. I mean, I'm so freaking happy for her right now. I'm like, good. I'm glad people are recognizing her talent because she's hella talented.
Mm-hmm.
And just an amazing person to work with.
I feel like there was an Easter egg in this film, part 2, the sketchbook. Can you tell us anything about the sketchbook, or is there a little bit of a can't say much?
What do you want to know?
Well, I don't know. I had this in my mind, so this was the one thing I wanted to ask. So their father, who apparently took his life, went insane, all that stuff, but he managed to draw like kill scenes from the first film. How could he have done that?
Yeah.
Is art their daddy?
I can't really say, but do you think it would just be that simplistic?
That's true. That was perfectly
great. That was great. Yeah, it's
Oh,
like,
we're gonna get to the sunglasses here in a
oh
moment.
yeah, oh yeah. But I think there is a good Easter egg in there if you pause, because most people didn't notice this in the theaters because it happened so quickly. But it's the whole newspaper clipping of the girl killed at the carnival. And it's just like her name is a pretty
Damn,
big Easter egg. So it's like,
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again.
yeah,
I mean, I want to anyway, but
yeah.
still,
I will
it's
say
like
her name was Emily Crane.
okay.
Yeah, and I'll leave it at that for those that want to theorize things, because I'm hoping, because I still don't know everything Damien's going to do, but I'm hoping with that I've suggested one thing to him, and I hope he keeps that. I want that because I'm like, I think it fleshes out a character very much more than this character is allowed to be fleshed out originally. So I'm like, oh, okay, that explains this character more.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's some things we could be, and everybody out in Three Witches Lands can look forward to
Mm-hmm.
in part
So
3.
hopefully, like I said,
Hopefully.
I might be wrong too. Damien has his own freaking plan here, and he's not telling
Oh,
me
sure.
everything. So just like because he wants to surprise me as much as he wants to surprise everybody else when I read
For sure.
the next script. So I'm just like, ah.
It almost seems like, any worthwhile franchise, horror franchise,
Mhm.
they don't always just think in one film, they think in 3. Would I be kind of correct in saying that?
Yeah, but he's even saying the ideas that he has for part 3 are so much that he might have to make a part 4.
Oh,
Just
well, shit, let's do
yeah,
it.
yeah, that's what I say. It's like, let's do it then. It's like, take your time, man. Take your time. Tell the story.
Yeah.
You don't have to put things in threes. If you
Right.
need 4 movies to tell the story that you want to tell, then take your time with it. Tell your story. I think that's what's, instead of rushing everything, it's better to let it breathe and flesh out more. So
Oh, I agree
yeah.
wholeheartedly. And I mean, obviously, as busy as you guys are because of this film, I mean, did you ever think that it was going to make it to the big screen?
Oh my God, no. Oh my God, no. Like, even when I read part 2, I was like, oh my God, Dame. I'm like, this needs to be seen on a big screen. This is the type of
That's how
movie
I felt about the
that
first one.
has to, yeah, I thought that too. But like, even more so with part 2, I'm like, this is a movie that is going to have to be seen on a big screen with a big audience of people. This is a big audience type of movie where everybody's just having fun with it, this grindhouse type of feel to it. So it's like, but he's like, yeah, this is never going to get past the ratings board of the MPAA. There's
Yeah, that
no
little
way they're
nugget.
just going to give this an R. I'm like,
Right.
and I think I even said then, I might be wrong, but I think I said, well, if that's the case, if they give us an NC-17 rating, then let's be the most successful NC-17 rating. Let's still fucking release it. It'll get people talking. I was like, it's like, that's the thing. It's like, people like controversy. That's what gets people
For
talking.
sure.
That's what they did with the Joker movie. They were talking
Yep.
about how over the top the kills were, how just like disturbing it was. Because they were doing that, that's what sold so many more seats for it. And it really wasn't that disturbing to me, at
Not
least.
to me,
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. It's like,
I
I
mean,
think people
shoot.
are like, "Oh my God, he shot De Niro in the face on a talk show," and I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, that's happened in comics too, basically. So it's
Constantly.
yeah, it's just like that's nothing compared to what I do in my movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Let's
like,
say that I mean, y'all broke so many fucking barriers down
yeah,
on Terrifier 2 in a movie theater situation. You literally
yeah,
tell me about the puking, because we've heard a lot
yeah.
about people with weak stomachs when going to see this.
It's the nudity scene. I keep telling people it's me being nude in that scene. And people are like, "Oh God, his ass!" Blah. I'm
Which
sorry.
became a topic in one of the Art the Clown fan
Yeah,
groups, as I understand.
yeah,
And everyone
yeah.
was like, "Oh my God, I saw his butt. It's so wonderful."
That's so weird to me because what's so weird about that to me too is like, this is my way of getting over some of my own personal insecurities, because I've always been very insecure about my body. I was that guy that was afraid to take his shirt off at the swimming pool and stuff like that because I was just always so skinny.
Don't
And
feel bad, brother. Trust me, you're
and
brave on
pale
that
too.
one.
I'm so pale too. And like I remember like one summer with my summer camp, I was a camp counselor for 5 years. So this I think one of the counselors put them up to this, but I took my shirt off at the pool. Like, okay, everybody get in. I take my shirt off. It was the first day of camp, so I had not tanned at all. And the kids like, I'm so bright. They're all screaming. And I'm like, oh great, that's good for the ego. Okay, no one gets in the
Shit.
pool now. All your sweat, you get no pool time today.
The
Oh,
paler, the better to me. I can't
yeah.
stand,
Oh yeah.
people
Oh,
with
it's
like
great.
these
I
horrible
jumped in the
symptoms.
pool. I was just swimming by myself in the pool. Like, no one gets to come in now. Okay, I'm kidding. Y'all get in.
And
But
I
for
think
this,
you
like 2
actually,
minutes there. 2 minutes there, they thought they were being punished.
yeah, I mean, I couldn't stop laughing, not because, looking at you, but just the expression on Art's face. He's sitting there looking like he's reading the funnies, but
Yep.
yet I think it was like
Horrible
a
stuff.
murder or something. Yeah, like
Yeah.
horrible stuff. And he's just laughing his ass off. Meanwhile, there's this fucking dude at the front of the place
Yep.
asleep. I'm
Yep.
like, when he wakes up, it's going to be all fucking bad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think
Sure, it
originally I
was.
wanted him to be reading the obituaries and stuff like that, but they turned into just actual horrible news stories, which makes just as much sense and is just as funny. So it's such an Addams Family type of moment, I think, for him. It's just this morbid stuff, and he loves it. He's just like, yes.
And that was a hell of a thing, introducing almost like your partner in crime.
Mm-hmm.
At first it was like, is this a figment of his imagination?
Mm-hmm.
Can he only see this person, or, is this kind of connected to the supernatural piece?
Yeah.
Which obviously later gets
Obviously
fleshed
is.
out.
Yeah.
Because my wife was even like, how did they make his voice call his sister?
Mm-hmm.
And there was the little girl on a cell phone, with the boy's voice. It was just like, it is connected. Okay.
Yeah. It's I mean, of course, that character's going to get fleshed out even more so in the next film and stuff like that, especially given the scene after the credits. It's just like, oh yeah, a lot more is going to be explained there. But I'm like, in a way, I kind of it took the form of something Art was familiar with. I'll say that, but I kind of look at that as his quest giver, his boss in a way. It's just like, okay, yeah, I brought you back from the dead because I need you to do this for me. It's just like you're my avatar here on this plane of existence, type of thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Right. Because obviously you got the room at the bottom of the fun house, and it looks like a portal to hell, basically. Yep. Which we'll get to that, because it leads me to one of my favorite scenes in the entire fucking film, the Art TV show.
Yes.
That had to be a fucking blast to do.
Oh my God, it was.
And
it
the
was
song.
Oh
the
my
song
God.
is infectious.
Oh, it doesn't leave. It's the Kaplan brothers. They wrote Silence the Musical. And yeah. So they're great. They're great with their lyrics. So they came up with that in no time at all. It's like Damien sent that to me as soon as they wrote it and recorded it. And I was like, oh my God, this is fantastic. This is gonna, oh my God, people are gonna love this song. And that was a few months before we filmed the scene and stuff like that. And we actually filmed that scene the week before we went to lockdown for COVID. So we were all upstate New York in Canajoharie in the middle of nowhere Amish country. So we were in our own little bubble. We had no idea what was going on in the real world at the time, that the world was falling apart around us. We had no idea. I mean, I barely got any cell service out there anyway. So I had no idea what was going on in the world around us. And
probably a good thing.
Oh yeah, because we were able to have so much more fun. And thank God we were able to film all that before, because I know that was like this one scene that everybody was stressing over the most about filming, because there were so many moving parts in that, and we had all of our Indiegogo campaign people coming for it.
Hmm.
And it's like everything had to run smoothly, and I mean, we had stunt actors involved in it. We had all this stuff going on, and we're like, "Oh God, this is going to be the week from hell." And it ended up being just the most fun week anybody had on set, I think, because it was like a party every single day. We were just having so much fun, and it was kind of cool having all the Indiegogo campaign people there as well, because like we had the fans on set with us, so they were able to add a new energy to everything, because at that time we'd already been filming for a few months, and then you have fresh eyes coming in. You see how excited they are about the whole entire thing. It's like, oh, okay,
Oh
this is
yeah.
just feeding us more and more and more. And so, plus it's a fun scene too. It's a very trippy scene, and that's what I love about it too. It's so nonsensical at times, but there is sense in all of it. Damien, I believe, explains the scene on the DVD commentary. I can't wait to get the DVD commentary
Oh,
myself,
that'll be amazing.
because I want to
Yes.
hear what he has to say about it, because I think he put some spoilers or something like that in there too. But
Nice.
it's there's a reason for that scene though.
Yeah.
It's a very important scene, because I know some people are like, oh, it's a long scene. I'm like, yeah, but we couldn't
Oh,
half-ass
it was
that.
fucking worth it.
Oh yeah,
I don't care what
that's
anybody says.
yeah, it's like, just because it's long doesn't mean it's not fun, and that's the thing. It's like, not everything has to be rushed. Sometimes you can let things breathe.
Absolutely. Plus, and it connects the final girl
Hmm.
to the fact that she's going to be the one, she is destined
Yes.
to become, the one to battle Art and,
Hmm.
save her brother and stuff.
Yeah. And we
Even
had
the club
alternate
scene was
takes
good.
on it too.
Did
I
you?
remember. Oh yeah, I remember, like, one of the first ideas we had was basically having someone coming out dressed like Catherine was in the first film in the Scarecrow costume, and I was going to
Ah,
do the magician's routine with sewing the girl in half in the box, and it was going to open up and blood was going to spill out and stuff like that too. And we just changed it even more so from there. It kept evolving as time went by. So yeah. I actually need to go back and just reread the original script, and because I know there are a lot of things that are not in the final version that were in the original script, because we had to take out for one reason or the other, or change for one reason or other.
well, hopefully those ideas will, resurface.
Oh yeah, I know,
It'll
especially
be worth it.
one. There was one gag that we wanted to do after I got shot that we literally just did not have time to do. We had everything set to go for that night, but we just ran out of time, and we're like, well, crap, we'll just have to put this in a future movie, this bit here, because it was like there was just no time. We're gonna, that was we just had too much other stuff we had to do. It's like, if we have to cut one thing, we'll cut this. We can add this shtick into something else later, and I think it would have
Yeah.
actually taken away from the moment anyways there too. So it's like, okay, this, we'll make it work somewhere else, and it's a fun gag. So yeah.
Well, I am definitely glad, and I'm sure everybody else is, that you were able to do the Halloween store scene.
Yes.
Also, one of my favorite, and apparently every fucking meme on the planet is you in those fucking sunflower
I
glasses.
know. I love it. I love it. Is
Whose idea was that?
that was basically Damien's. He's but like the thing was like that it was him and Olga. It's basically they just said, Art. There's a thing of glasses and all these props, and Art just plays. That's basically what was written in the script. So I didn't know what I was going to do until I got there on set and I saw what all
Oh,
I had to play with. I'm like,
perfect.
oh my god, there was a that whole entire side of the rack of glasses. I went down that whole entire rack with all those different glasses you see on that one side, doing different things with it. So there's like, there's probably 3 or 4 times much footage of me playing around with all these different pairs of glasses. Like, I know there was like a beer goggles that I put on there, actually beer mugs. There were, yeah, there were Groucho Marx glasses, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was playing around with like whoopee cushions and whatever props, all these little gags around me. Like, I think one of the takes with the little noisemaker, the little thing, I was supposed to originally eat it, so they had to take me just, you know,
One of our viewers he
yeah.
was saying he had a blast and had to go because he has to go to work early. So
Oh,
thank you,
bye,
Tyler.
bye, Tyler. Have fun. That's God, Amelie, God.
I think the best part was, she realizes she doesn't have her bag. how the fuck is she going to pay for her shit? And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, bam, you're there, drops
Yeah,
her bag.
that wasn't in the script. That was a happy accident because they had already filmed a lot of
Nice.
that. They had already filmed a lot of that interaction, and didn't have time. And they're like, "Oh crap, we left her bag downstairs. Oh crap!" And it was actually my idea. I was like, "Guys, guys, 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 guys! Instead of having to refilm everything, why don't I just bring the bag up?"
Brilliant.
And it's become one of the better jump scares in the movie. It just,
Yeah, because
yeah,
I mean, it was the ultimate bitch moment.
yeah.
Here you go. Here's your shit.
Yeah, it was just one of those happy accidents. It's like this is we had several of those. Like we had like probably one of the better examples is the scene with the broken glass when at Allie's house. That wasn't supposed to happen like that. It was supposed to be just she comes downstairs and I come charging through the window and chase her.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that night, they opened up the breakaway glass that I was supposed to go running through and stuff like that, and it was already broken. And it was too late at night to go and get another thing of glass. And like, well,
Oh yeah.
we're like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? We got to film this tonight. What are we gonna do? And Damien and I think Michael Levy, we just kind of sat there for a second and just put our heads together, and we came up with that whole idea with the Art. Just he's inside already and making himself at home.
I loved it.
Yeah, because we were originally supposed to have when I leave in the middle of the alley kill scene, I go running downstairs. I was supposed to go down there and take a break. And I was like, well, why don't we just
that would have been fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's like, why don't we just put that part here at the beginning with me getting the water and stuff like that? And I think that works because it's so eerie, because it's so unsettling knowing that he's inside the house and he knows he has her. He knows he has her.
Yeah,
he's just
he's
taking
got
his
no
time.
chance.
He's like, I'm gonna get a little liquid refreshment before I gotta get to killing. So it's just it's so and I like how he also kind of thought it out too. He's got that one window broken, so that one escape route is now not because she's barefoot.
Yep.
So she can't go out that door. He knows the only other way she can get out is to go out that front door. So that's why he goes rushing towards the front door to block her off. So she has to go run upstairs. He had it all thought out.
Oh, brilliant.
Because we wanted to address that trope of people running upstairs in movies, and we do that twice in the movie. We do that twice because he's like, I was like, why the fuck do they always run upstairs instead of just running out the door? She can't run out the door because Art blocks her that time. And then when Jonathan, after with the mashed potato scene, he can't run out the door because the little pale girl's standing in front of the door. So it's just like, so he's got to run upstairs too. It's like Art thinks this stuff out. He's smart. You can't have smart without art.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, that should be a hashtag.
How does
smart like art?
How does David run in his shoes? Yeah, I would have to take off my shoes when I had to go running after people up the stairs because we did takes where I was trying to run up full speed behind my victims with those clown shoes on. It was just impossible. I tried my darndest. And then we did takes where I just had my tennis shoes on and they're like, "Oh, Dave, you got to slow down." I will catch them. I'm like, "I'm sorry."
A little chance. Just a little.
Like, I'm fast. I'm very fast. I've always been a very fast runner. It's just like that having the clown shoes on, it was,
kind of inhibiting that a little bit.
Yeah, but it made it easier for them to escape.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, oh God.
I always did kind of feel a little bit of a 80s we're kind of making fun of you kind of thing.
Yeah.
With some of how those kill scenes were. Especially like you said, the running upstairs, because that's usually in the old that decade of horror. The shit, they just did it all the time. It didn't matter.
All the time.
They had the fucking door right there. Go in.
Like, you just go outside, keep running.
Or the obligatory jump out the window scene.
Yeah. No kidding. No kidding. And she tries to. She's trying to get out the window, and then Arch is like, "Nope. Don't think so." Oh, we had a great blooper with that too. We did 2 different takes, and like one of the takes when she's throwing the cabinet down, The first take is the one we use, and I just basically Mario hopped right on top of that thing, kept going. I was like, holy shit, and I just grabbed her and threw her down. The other time I did it, she tossed it down. I was hopping over it, and my foot got stuck, and I fell out of my clown shoes. But I kept going, and you see my arms come up and just grab her and throw her down.
Man, that worked out great because
So
I mean,
everybody was
legit.
crashing up. Well, they always tell you don't cut until they say cut. So I just kept going. It's
Right.
like, okay, well, who knows? Maybe we can get something funny out of this. But yeah, everybody was dying laughing because you just see me like up, poop, and just disappear.
Well, shit. Hopefully, some of these girls aren't like a little bit traumatized. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I tried not to do that to them. You know, it was like in between takes. I'm just like, you know, comforting them. I'm like, you're doing
Right.
awesome. I love you. I'm so sorry to be doing this to you. Do you want a cookie?
Let's have a hug.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, let's hug this out. Let's hug this out. He's such an asshole. He is such an asshole.
Leave it to Genghis, you know.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, what was Thanksgiving like for you when they served the mashed potatoes?
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't have like a normal Thanksgiving this past week, so I was just by myself. But I was getting so many mashed potato memes, so many. So I hope I made Thanksgiving odd for everybody this year. So
yeah, honestly, I don't think there was a motherfucker in the country that didn't look at it and go, I just want to throw this at someone.
Yeah, and it's got the salt on the table too. And they're like,
Just so inventive. The comedy is so dark.
Oh God, yeah.
That you're laughing, but it's like sinister laughing. Like I'm not like going, oh, look at that, you know. It's like, oh yeah.
And what's funny too is like if people have had experiences in the theater where they're the only person laughing at some of these things, and everybody's kind of looking at them like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "That's funny." It's like,
you know, you have to have a dark kind of sense of humor with these things, and I think not only was it the success, you know, that you've had with this film at the theater. Thank the motherfucking gods that happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone that was familiar with the first one knew what they were getting into. And I think like maybe the other, you know, 50-40% was like, what the hell did I just step into? Now I want more.
Yeah. It's because people are just so used to like these very safe, saccharine slasher movies now. And we don't. Yeah, I mean it's fun. They can
watered
be
down.
Fun. Watered
That's
down.
what I'd like to say.
Yeah,
because I mean, Scream is fun.
Yeah,
you know, but to me, it's not like I see him on the same level as like a Freddy, a Jason, or a Michael.
Yeah,
which I fucking love the fact that you guys beat the fuck out of that last Halloween film.
Oh my God!
Let me tell you, after watching it, and I don't have a problem saying this, it was. The ending was fucking. The movie itself it shouldn't have been that way.
I say that as well. I say that, and I'm not doing it because I'm like I look at them as a rival. Because I'm like no, because I want every horror film to succeed. Because I'm a huge horror fan myself. I'm a huge Halloween fan, and I felt disrespected. I was just like, this is
so I'm not the only
bullshit. One. No, because I'm like. Because this is a movie they have been hyping up for years. This is going to be the final battle between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. And that's what you're going in there to watch. You want to see Laurie and Michael just go at it. It's just like this is going to be the fight of the century, Batman versus Superman type of fight. Yeah. And most of it's him trapped under a refrigerator. It's just like... And this is the guy in the previous movie that beat up a whole entire fire department and then goes Jackie Chan on a whole bunch of village people that had been stabbing him, shooting him, ironing him. And he goes Jackie Chan on them. And then in this one, he gets beaten up by a guy that got beaten up by band nerds.
Right.
And I'm like, what the fuck? That's how
It
I was just
literally
like,
made no sense.
made no sense.
None at all.
It's just like I felt like they totally disrespected the character of Michael Myers. I felt sorry for James Jude Courtney because I think he's such a vicious and scary Michael Myers. I mean, it's like he is brutal, and that's what you wanted to see. You wanted to see brutal Michael Myers in this, and I was like, oh man, he's so weak.
It literally made no sense.
Yeah, I mean,
And
you
now
have
it's just
the
like
big where he
he's
like
played Haddonfield, you know.
yeah, you have him put the woman up against the wall and holds her there with the knife and stuff like that, but it's
That's
like
fine.
yeah, but it's like that was
But-
fine. But it's like I look at the DJ kill and stuff like that. What they did to Diana Prince, who was a
Mhm.
huge Halloween fan herself, I'm like, they have a kill happen basically off screen.
Yep.
It's blurred out in the back. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I've heard they're going to put that in the DVD extras. I'm like, no, you don't do that. You show that. That's what everybody's coming to these movies to see. They want to see Michael Myers kill somebody. Show it, God damn it.
Yeah, because in the first couple of the trilogy there, he was hardcore. You didn't miss a damn thing.
Yes.
And it was just like, this is the Michael we've always wanted.
Yes.
You know, and just the third one was a letdown, but
Yeah.
y'all fucking
the
say
Corey
Halloween,
story.
that's all I know.
Yeah, we gave the big, huge, slam down, beat down, drag out fight that you wanted from Laurie and Mike.
Fuck
It was
yeah.
just like, yeah,
Epic.
that's what I wanted, and that's what we were even saying when we were filming Terrifier 2. It's like, we know that we're probably going to come out the time Halloween Ends comes out, so we have got to have something that's gonna, because everybody's going to be talking about Laurie and Michael's big fight. We got to have something that's got to at least measure up to what's going to happen in that movie. We got to have.
You guys killed it for sure.
Yeah. Oh.
There was nothing anticlimactic about your guys' fight scene. It was,
and I'm not saying that just because I'm in it. I'm just like, as just a movie fan,
horror fan.
It's just apples and oranges. There, it's just like that's what I wanted out of that final fight with Laurie and Michael. It was just like, and it wasn't there, and I'm like, that's like you make the two main characters from the whole entire franchise in their very final film. You make them secondary characters. Yeah. And I'm like, no,
can't do that.
Why? No one went to that movie for the Corey story.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you build the character up like he's going to be the new Michael Myers, and then you kill him. So what was the point? It was just like, why spend this whole entire fucking movie, excuse my language, but why do you spend this whole fucking movie on this one character no one cares about? Instead of whoever I came to see. It's like, know your audience. I understand the story they were trying to tell about evil and stuff like that. I understand. That would have been a great, if they had done that story for Halloween Kills, that would have been made more sense.
Yeah, because people would have got invested in it a little bit more instead of trying to get invested in a whole new fucking idea.
Yeah, this should have been Halloween Kills, and then they should have saved the big final battle for Halloween Ends. Like just this one, just final, you've killed my daughter, you motherfucker, I'm coming for you, just type of. That's what I think all of us wanted. We wanted Laurie Strode to just be like, I'm fed up. I'm just
and we've all been fucking hungry for something new, something fresh, something darker.
Yeah.
And just like you said, absolutely fucking fearless. No fucks given at all.
Yeah.
This is how it's going down, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So how are you adjusting to your new fame? Literally, you can't go anywhere, either on the internet, I think it's called Terror Threads. I went to try to go get a shirt. Sold out.
Wow.
People are worshiping you. So I know. So how are you adjusting to all this now?
Slowly but surely, it's still sinking in because I really haven't had time to process. I haven't had time to process. I've been like, just ever since October, I've just been boom, 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 boom. It's just I used to be able to answer all of my fan mail on like Instagram and Facebook, and it's just
Yeah,
gotten to be too much now. I'm like, I feel bad. I feel so bad. I'm like, I wish I could
I feel it.
message but I would just be answering mail all day, every single day, and I'm like, I still try to answer as much as I can, but I'm just like, there's no
There's
way I
only
can.
so many hours in the day.
Yeah, there's no
Plus
way.
you got fucking con
Yeah,
appearances all over the fucking place. I
yeah,
actually
Mean
just
One
heard from my
coming
wife
out
today.
too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Which we're gonna get to that here in
yeah.
just a second. But yeah, I mean, you guys are like totally. You can't take on any more appearances, I guess.
No, because
Holy
like
shit!
it's like I'm booked over
In
in
demand.
next year. I'm booked at over 20 cons already.
Is Damien gonna have any
Basically,
time to write?
yeah, I know that's the thing. That's why we had to say we couldn't take up because we had so many between January and July alone.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to film like The Dead Place and possible other movie in that same time period. And I'm like, when I gotta have time to do this all. And I was like,
Right.
I'm like, and Damien's got to have time to write and do whatever others, because people are contacting him left and right now. I can't say who, but
Well, for sure.
he's been contacted by some very important people in the industry recently, and it's just like, wow, it's not just for Terrifier 3 or anything like that, but other stuff. So it's just like, we're both very busy, and it's just we're wow. Just
take it one day at a time.
Yeah, I'm trying to find my free days too, because I feel bad too. I was like, you're one of the few podcasts I've been able to. You got me at the right time, because
I'm so thankful.
yeah, because I have
I know you're a busy
everybody.
man.
Oh, you're welcome, man. It's just everybody's been like, I want you on my podcast. I want to talk to you about Mean One. I want to talk about Terrifier 2. I'm like, I would love to, but I'm booked all the way through Christmas, and next year's already going to be busy. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to have time to do as many podcasts as I used to, because like when I'm not at the conventions, I like to have a day or two just for myself, just to recharge. I have to have my mental health days, as I call them, because I'm an introverted. I'm a extroverted introvert, and so like
That's
it's
the
true.
both worlds.
Yeah, it's like people would think I'm very woo 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 because they see me at the conventions. That I'm basically putting on my stage persona, just being hey. But like when I get back, I'm such a homebody, and so I basically, that my first day back from a convention, I just crash. I don't do anything all day. I'm tired. I sometimes sleep almost the entire day, because it's just I use so much energy over the weekend.
I fucking believe it, man.
Yeah,
not to mention meeting
tough.
So many different people, and they're all what do we call them? Hashtag art addicts.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so grateful, and I don't want people to think I'm not grateful and stuff like that. I want to.
Oh, of course.
I want to interact with as many people as possible. It's just I just don't have the time to all of a sudden, and it's just like it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situations. And it's just like, but I want everybody to know I'm grateful. It's just like, I appreciate everybody reaching out. It's just, I can't get back to everybody, and I can't get on everybody's podcast anymore. Unfortunately,
it's totally understandable. Yeah. And we're pleased to actually roll the trailer for your newest film coming out on December 8th, The Mean One. Let's take a look at it.
Yay.
Remember that story about Cindy You-Know-Who? When her Christmas was stolen, she knew what to do.
Why, Santa Claus? Why?
But what if I said that's not how it went down?
You gonna be okay? Because we can turn around right now.
No. That poor girl. Her mother was killed. Her mind snapped.
Did you ever find the Christmas killer?
Never got a reliable description of the man.
Dad? Dad! He is out there! What if the Christmas killer is back?
This town cannot go through another Christmas killer thing. Not again.
Us folks down in Newville, we liked Christmas a lot. But that thing that lives just north of Newville does not.
What is it?
Mean one. He's slippery. He's elusive. He's a mean one, that mister.
I'm not going to be a victim anymore.
Time to roast this beast. You're a dead one, mister.
You know, when the horror world started to talk about trying to take like old, like Disney characters and stuff like that and turn them, into a dark story. And I'm like, okay, I've seen a couple things where I'm like, there's, the Little Red Riding Hood gone bad, some of that other shit. And I'm like, all right, we're getting closer. But I've always felt ever since, not just the original cartoon, but the Jim Carrey version of the Grinch, I'm like, still, I would much rather see the Grinch just kill somebody straight up, just kill them. No remorse, just having a good time, stealing gifts, just take their lives. And here we fucking are.
Yep.
Mega balls.
Yes.
How did you guys pull this off?
Oh my gosh. It's amazing because this is another one we didn't expect to go into theaters. It's supposed to go straight to streaming for free because we're like trying to avoid lawsuits.
Exactly.
It's just like, it all came about because Steven, the director, Lamort, he filmed a spoof like movie trailer a few years ago, I think, of the Grinch, or the mean one, because we do not call him the Grinch at all in the movie.
We don't say it.
We don't say it. It's like Voldemort.
Don't even say it.
And it's like a running joke in the movie too. Anytime someone's about to say his name, something happens to stop them from saying it. So it's just like
brilliant.
Yeah, it's just pure silliness. It's like he made this little spoof trailer just for shits and giggles because and people are like, this should be a real movie. And he's like, well, why not? Because I'm like, it's one of the few things that actually just totally lends itself to a horror movie. It's like, he's a beast, so that he's kind of like this Bigfootish type of character, this just crazy thing living out there that hates Christmas, and I love it. I love the idea, and the funny thing was too, because I'm like, Steven went to school. He grew up with the Fuzz and Lens guys, and so he approached them. Was like, hey, I'm about to cast this movie. Do you know anybody that could play the mean one in this? It's like, oh yeah, we know the perfect guy. And he didn't know when he cast me that I had done the Grinch tour for the first 5 years of the tour. I was the understudy for the Grinch. I was Stephen Carl's understudy. He was Robbie Rudd from Lazy Town. That's, it comes full circle. So it's just like, yeah, exactly, Cricket. It's perfect. It's like, this is full circle for me because I had just finished doing the Grinch tour right before I started doing Terrifier. So it's like, oh wow, this just keeps going.
Damn.
This character keeps coming back to me because I love the character. I've always loved the story so much. And I was like, I even thought back then that this would make such a fun horror movie. And I had an inside joke too, because everybody's like, what is the Who Beast? What is a Who Beast? And I said, that's a Grinch. That's why the Grinch really hated the Who's, really, because they had killed off his whole entire species. This is
Sounds
what
like
I was saying on tour with
cool
children. I'm saying it's like, oh yeah, and so it's a very morbid movie, not movie, but a musical. When at the very end of the story, it's like he himself carved up the roast beast. It's like he's carving up one of his own. Oh my God, cannibalism. Like, yeah, fuck that. The Who's are horrible, but I've always thought it just, there's some kind of darkness to the character, and so they decided to go have fun with it. And like, it's pure parody. It's not like Terrifier. I don't want people to go into this expecting it's going to be like crazy, over the top, brutal, gory movie. This is more like Gremlins, where it's like, we know it's cheesy. It's an inside joke. It's like, we know this movie is cheesy and it's intentionally cheesy. We have the fake blood, just like the special, like the CG blood just everywhere. It's just cartoonish. It's very cartoonish. Very, very, very. The whole thing's tongue in cheek. It's not taking itself seriously at all. And that's how we were able to get away with it too, because it's not the actual story of how the Grinch stole Christmas.
No, not at
Yeah.
all. It doesn't even come
Yeah,
close.
it's pure
from what I
parody,
can
and that's why we're able to get away with it, is because of the fair use doctrine. So it's like, yeah,
I mean, you realize that this film is pretty much going to be synonymous with like Die Hard and Elf and
oh yeah, and that's
know?
probably one of the smartest things to do, is to make a Christmas horror movie, because that's going to be, it's going to carry you through the whole entire Halloween through Christmas season. It's something you can watch
Yeah.
on both, and people love Christmas horror movies.
Oh, they're the fucking best.
They are the best. I freaking love them. I'm not a big Christmas guy anymore, but I love Christmas horror movies. I can't wait to see this new one. That's
No more
coming
love
out.
stories, damn it.
Yeah, it's just like oh my god, it's just so much like Gremlins and God, Krampus, all that kind of stuff. So much fun. I love Krampus.
Yeah,
I
tons
love
of fun. But you
Yeah.
know, the one that they've overdone is the Santa character.
Yeah.
How many fucking times are you going to see Santa being this, horrific, almost like monster-like guy?
Yeah.
Let's do something fucking different. And I always felt like, that character right there, he who shall not be named,
Yes.
should be at the top of the food chain.
Oh
in
my god,
opinion.
it lends itself so easily to it, because it's like, yeah, he hates Christmas. He's gonna slaughter anybody that's celebrating, and that's basically what happens. Because like the premise of the movie is like, that night, as you see in the trailer, it's like when Cindy was a little girl, he killed her mom because he got scared, and because he just hated Christmas after that a whole lot, and he terrorized the town for 20 years until Cindy comes back for revenge. So that whole entire town for 20 years has been afraid to even mention Christmas, because he would come down and just slaughter everybody. Just like, yeah, fuck you guys. No, shut up, type of stuff. So it's just like,
And you get to speak.
maybe.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was true
he's
or
very,
not.
like I said, he's very beast-like in this thing. He's not like the Jim Carrey Grinch. He's
Nice.
he's Bigfootish, just that thing that people aren't even sure exists. He's that monster. Like he's a cryptid, basically.
Man, and when you do that little, almost like,
Yeah. Oh, that scene. There's one scene in particular where I had because I only shot for 3 days. I was only set for 3 days, and out in LA, and one kill scene is just so much fun, because it was just me and a bunch of stunt actors for the day, and
Nice.
our stunt coordinator worked on the Power Rangers for 10 years too. So that was awesome. So I was like, I love stunt actors. I think stunt actors are the
hell of a
unsung
profession.
heroes of this industry. They don't get nearly as much respect that they deserve. And like, even in the trailer, that's not all just me in the trailer. A lot of that is also my stunt double, Robin, is like, because he would fill in for me, like, because they filmed this in LA, and they couldn't, because of expense reasons, they just couldn't have me out there the whole entire time. And
Right.
so like the whole beginning scene of you see with like Cindy Lou, little Cindy when she's a little girl, that's him in the suit, just mocking, just imitating what I was doing. So like you don't see his face, but I'm like, thank you, Robin. You did a great job replicating what and we were constantly in contact with each other and stuff like that. He's like, how would you approach this? And I'm like, oh, it's like, and I'm like, the set's like, Robin's doing you proud. I'm like, good. I had no doubt. And like, I want to use Robin going forward as my stunt double for other projects, especially if I, need him for Terrifier 3. It's because we're so much alike physically, but we think a lot alike too. He's got the same kind of like comic timing I have too. So I'm like,
Nice.
yeah. So I'm like, I want to give Robin as much, recognition for what he contributed too, because he was able to do things that I could not do. Like you even see it in the trailer with he and Cindy fighting, that little roll and stuff like that across. I was like, that was Robin doing all that kind of stuff. He made me look like a badass. So I was like, yeah. And our Cindy is actually a stunt actress too, so she was doing her own stunts.
Right.
Yeah, Crystal's fantastic. She's just absolutely. She's another person I hope is going to go far. So
Probably after, everybody gets to see this thing, I think it's just going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And definitely all of us here at Three Witches and the Underground wish nothing but success for this film.
Thank you.
Can't wait for it to come out.
It's just fun.
Oh, fuck yeah, absolutely.
Just fun.
So last question from the comment section. Would David do a rom-com?
Oh, God, yeah. Of course.
Would there be murder involved?
Oh, maybe. If they put it in there, sure. I mean, I want to do more comedy.
That's a rom-com
anyway.
I would go see.
Yeah, that's more fun anyway. As like,
true that.
Because you can do some good romantic comedies. Especially don't make me like the main love interest. I don't want to be that. I want to be like the best friend. That's the the idiot or the asshole guy or something. I like just something fun with it, or something like Bridesmaids or something, or like or Wedding Crashers or something, that kind of rom com. I would love that. I would love that.
Wedding Crashers, damn, yeah, that was killer. That whole idea.
Or some rom-com like Home Alone, because I would love to do that kind of slapstick comedy. I love that. I mean, I'm
still a fan. I'm not ashamed.
I am too. I especially the first two movies. It's just like, oh my God, Pesci and Daniel Stern in that are just the physical comedy in those movies is just
unreal.
And I would love to do that. I would love to do that type of movie. It's oh my God. And the funny thing is, the other David Thornton is in Home Alone 3. That's Cyndi Lauper's husband.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's I get mistaken for even like on the one of the things they were doing for the promotion of like the Mean One. They had or for Terrifier 2 they showed it was on like I think it's on Vudu for Terrifier 2 or something like that. They had his picture instead of my picture. I'm like, wrong, David Thornton. I'm David Howard Thornton. He's David Thornton. That's why I go by David Howard Thornton, is because of him.
You know what? Makes total fucking sense.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Now he and I got to just be in a movie together just to really confuse the fuck out of everybody.
People would lose their shit.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because we're probably cousins. Have me and him and also Billy Bob Thornton in a movie together. That would really confuse people.
Oh, wow. I'm already seeing a concept in my mind.
And we're probably all related somehow too. So it'd be a family picture.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, brother. I am so proud of you bringing the spark back to horror that horror has so desperately needed. And wish you nothing but the best for all your upcoming projects. And as we close here, what would you like to leave with your fans out there listening right now?
A big thank you. Just a big, huge freaking thank you. Because, oh my God, like I keep saying, it's like we didn't expect any of this. Like we weren't supposed to be in theaters originally. Then we got put in theaters and it was supposed to be just a limited run in 500 theaters for 3 days. And all of that changed because the fans kept demanding the movie to be in more theaters and to keep going. And I think we're still in some possible theaters too, which is
I do believe so.
It's insane, absolutely insane that this is. I mean, we literally broke records for an independent film,
Most
horror film. This just does
probably
not
the biggest
happen.
of all time.
Yeah, it's unheard of what happened with this thing, and it's all because of the fans. The fans got out there. It's like the publicity that got out there was because of the fans. Like, they were talking about us on like Howard Stern and The Talk and stuff like that. They were like, whoever is these guys publicity people is a genius. I'm like, nah, it's the fans. The fans are just tweeting stuff, and the mainstream media picked it up and ran with it. It's all because of the fans. So thank you from the bottom of my dark heart.
And we thank you as well. And when I first found out that there was a campaign, I donated my $20. It's all I had at the time. So I was happy to do that shit. And thanks to everybody else out there. You all made this fucking possible. You see what happens when you have a dream.
It's like, yes.
Fuck.
And I'm hoping we are like setting the trend for so many other indie filmmakers and stuff like that out there. I hope we're doing that, and I hope we're also putting a fire under Hollywood's butt right now.
Please.
to actually make good horror movies again, good slashers again. Give the audience what they want. Quit playing safe. Quit just trying to make, cheap
Break
movies
fucking
just for, just to make quick money. Like, actually put thought and love into what you're doing, because we've shown if you do that, it's successful, and the audiences
Fucking
will
right.
show up, and they'll show up multiple times. They'll keep going back to see it again and again and again in the theater.
And they will buy t-shirts,
Yes.
dolls,
Yes.
anything you can throw out there, because it becomes iconic to people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once again, thank you, brother David,
Thank
for
you.
coming on the show. It has been a fucking blast.
Yes.
And as you all are preparing, in your PJs and you're about to lay yourself down to sleep, thinking of the mean one in your head,
Yeah.
stay heavy.
Corpses rotting in this wasteland, left with some bleach to bone.